Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 106, released October 1966. Our price, 30 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe down below. Make sure you're still subscribed, because sometimes YouTube, those nefarious sprites, they unsubscribe people from my channel. They do. Certainly it wouldn't be somebody unsubscribing themselves, right? Make sure you give a thumbs up or leave a comment down below, even if it's a negative, nasty comment about how I'm a hippie who needs to buy new undershirts and cut my hair. That's helpful. If you want to support me in another way, you can go to patreon.com/flippinthrough. You get a 6 set of stickers. If you give me enough money, will get a Alfred E. Newman graffiti stencil produced, and manufactured for the sole purpose of defacing public property. These are the people. In fact, in addition to that, you also get a special thanks at the beginning of each episode. These are the people that I get to thank this week: Misamo, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, let's get back here. Oh, shit. Listen, you know what? I'm a little behind the scenes. I filmed, this is like my third time doing it. Every single time I fudge something up, and I'm sick of it. That's staying in. Anyway, before I get into the cover of this beautiful Norman Mingo cover, I want to talk about the back cover, because I don't want to lose steam at the end. Early one morning in the jungle. What makes this special? What makes this special is that it is an appearance. It's an appearance of the artist Frank Frazetta. Yes, the Frank Frazetta. Frank Frazetta did some work for MAD, and MAD magazine, I don't think many people would argue, wasted his talents. I would say that Frank Frazetta, he did a total of 6 appearances. Wait, I'm looking at madcoversite.com, and I see, one of those is a reprint in issue number 500. Oh, wait, another one is a calendar that he did. So 4. He had 4 appearances, and this is one of them. And it's fine, but this is a Duck Edwing written cartoon. You could have had anybody do it. You could have had Bob Clark. You could have had Don Martin do it. And why would you have Frank Frazetta do this, of all things? And I guess the argument could be made he wasn't Frank Frazetta yet. Oh, but what came before this was that beautiful black shampoo ad with Ringo Starr. Beautifully painted, reproduced ad nauseum, for a reason. Because it's Frank Frazetta doing the thing that Frank Frazetta does. Anyway, enough about that. Mad Magazine number 66. I love this cover. This is the sort of like beautiful Norman Mingo comedic simplicity, right? It's not overloaded with chicken fat and a bunch of silly things. The contents, I would say, if a lesser comedic writer artist did this, the contents of this would be filled with silly things. It would be like a rubber chicken. It would be I don't know. What else is comedic that would be in a thing? There'd be a number of things. I don't know, a straitjacket, who knows? A mad poyet, but no. He restrained himself. And all of this is all camping paraphernalia, accoutrements. He packed his knapsack, not his parachute. Anyway, I just love it. It's beautiful. And I love the way that it goes over the MAD logo. Something about that just, I don't know, it just seals it. Norman Mingo truly is, he truly is a painter. I didn't want to say something and like really oversell it, but he is awesome. We love Norman Mingo here. I don't really have anything. I read through these, the MAD, the letters department, letters and tomatoes, and it just wasn't that compelling. Here is The Bunch, which artist Mort Drucker, obviously, writer Arnie Kogan. Now, my guess is that this is the type of film or television show that they thought was going to be, well, I don't know. They probably didn't do it thinking it would live on in the future, but it's one of those things, those pieces of media that I would guess most people forgot about. A lot of things that they did, a lot of the lampooning of television and movies were hits, right? Like when they did East Side Story, the take on West Side Story, obviously, people recognize that, and they will for decades and decades to come. The Bunch, whatever that was a play on, no, I don't think they will. Now, here we are at a mad look at trademarks. And as we get into that, I want to do something real quick because it's time for a segment that I don't have all that often.
Hi, amigos! All 300,000 bounty hunters in the star system! How y'all doing?
And now it's time for
Mad Hunters. That's right. Mad Hunters, the bounty show where I ask you to find something for me because I'm not skilled or willing to do it on my own. So for this episode of Mad Hunters, I want to find some information about this guy, Max Brandel. A cursory glance of the internet provided very little, but I use a dumb browser that isn't that good at searching things. So if anybody can send me information, you can DM me on Instagram. That would probably be the best way to send a link. If anybody can get me some good information about Max Brandel, I would really like to hear it, because Max Brandel did a fair amount of work for Mad Magazine, almost all of it involving text and logos. In fact, he had the Mad paperback book, Mad Word Power, and I think it's very fun. I really like these gags. Not necessarily all of these gags, but I like his sense of humor and the way that he uses the medium. So anybody who has that information about Max Brandel, please reach out to me. And to show my appreciation, I will send you a 6 set of stickers. Unless you already have some. Then you already have enough. Don't be greedy. No, I'm joking. I'll send more too. All right. So here we have the Firestone, right? And then it's a flat tire. This is the type of thing that I really, really would have liked when I was a child. I don't know why, but you look at Avis Rent-A-Car, and it's a 2. I don't understand why it's a 2. I get this one. I would have really liked this as a young man. Playboy, and I don't want to say because this is a family show. And then Toastmasters and the toast. Wait, what? Yeah, Toastmaster, and it's the S's are popping out. Like they're toast. You don't get it? Scott Tissue, the toilet, the old flushing toilet, like in The Godfather. Hertz Rent-A-Car. I do understand this reference because there's in the ad the guy would leap into the car, and then Pan Am, and the A flew away. And then here's Mad, which is at first you think it's backwards, but the A is just upside down. Like when I say it out loud, when I describe this, it all sounds so stupid, but I get immense enjoyment of these as I look through them. Johnson's wax and the J is slipping on the wax because you wax a floor. You guys don't get it. That's why you're not laughing, okay? Otis Elevator Company, and the elevator's right there. It's dropping. Otis is actually, this is a fun fact, he was an elevator manufacturer, and he is the one who invented, though, elevator brakes, which would stop an elevator suddenly in the event of a broken cable. That is a true statement. Okay, I'm going to give these their due. I'm going to give the devil his due. And we're going to zoom in a little bit on golf photo plays. When I told you to try for a birdie, I didn't think you'd take me so literally. Look at this. Why is this man accosting this boy? Kid, I hope you understand, but I didn't make much money in this tournament, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to stiff you. You know, these are all old golfers. Is that Arnold Palmer? If you let me make this putt, Lord, I promise I'll start going to church again on Sunday mornings. You can't, because that's the third day of golf tournaments is on Sunday mornings. He's lying to you. He's lying to you, God. Oh, here we have a mad margin. Oh, God. Oh, he's just stoved that poor guy's head in. Here we have another one. While I'm zoomed in on these awful photo jokes. Oh, wait. This. You mean he actually swallowed it and there's a kid like choking? That is kind of funny. All right, so this lady's... she's making her tough motorcycle guy walk the dog. Anyway, I think you'll notice that these are never reproduced, right? So that tells you everything that you need to know about this. Here we have the lighter side of music lovers. 5 pages of this. Oh no, only 4. And a beautiful spy versus spy that I really want to zoom in on. I think I mentioned my eldest child is like, I have my complete casebook of Spy versus Spy, and I think it's become her complete casebook of Spy versus Spy at this point. I don't think I can claim ownership to it anymore. There is something that I always love about. I just read this. It's just torture. The Salvation Army band. I love it when there's other people that aren't spies. I really like the way he draws people. I'm just very charmed by it. I think his style is so neat. And I'm just so accustomed to seeing it, the spies, that I don't always appreciate the artistry in his illustrations. But I do when he has other people like the generals or just randos like this. Here we go. Black spy. All right, he's making a noose. He's checking it twice. Oh, God. Oh, my God. What happened here? So he's like, this is assisted suicide? I don't know. Either way, I love it, though. Now, moving on. This is the MAD Air Travel Primer. And this one is illustrated by George Woodbridge and written by Larry Siegel. If you watched last week's episode, I forget which one it was, what issue, you'll know that I just read one of these, and it was, I should actually look up which one it was, Mad Magazine number 49. So we're like, over 50 issues away from that one. And yet they're still doing the MAD Air Travel Primer. I guess it's kind of easy, right? It's like something that a lot of people were familiar with, so you can go back to that well again and again. But I like the one about monsters because I like monsters. Who likes air travel? The takeoff. See the busy airport. See the busy terminal building in the busy airport. See the nice airplane leaving the busy terminal building. This is 9 a.m. flight. The airplane is leaving exactly on time along the ground for another spot on the busy airport where it will wait in line to take off. Wait. You won't be in the air for an hour yet. Aren't long delayed takeoffs fun? They give you a little more time to get settled into your seat. They give you a little more time to admire the airport scenery. They give you more time to pray. It's like the writing, I think I would say this. The best parts of these, and no offense to Larry Siegel or the Larry Siegel estate. The best part of the MAD primers is the art, with the exception, I think, of the Universal Monsters one. That one had me cracking up. Should I maybe give one of these a chance to shine in the writing? We can admire these stewardesses. The stewardess. See the nice stewardess. She's explaining how to use the life preservers. She tells you where to find them. She tells you how to put them on. She tells you how to inflate them. She tells you that they may save your life. She asks if there are any questions. Here is something to think about. When was the last time you read of an airliner crash landing in the sea and staying afloat, long enough for passengers to get out and use those life preservers? Don't ask her that question. The distraught relative. See the anxious lady. See how worried she is. See how she paces up and down. See how she wrings her hands. Why is the lady upset? Her husband is on an airline flight. There's no telling what can happen. Oh, the telephone is ringing. Ring, ring, ring. The lady has just received the news that she has been dreading. Her husband's plane has landed safely. Another $200,000 air travel insurance policy shot to hell. That was a funny twist. I liked that. But again, really, with the MAD primers, the art. You're in it for the art, right? Talking about being in it for the art again. Artist Bob Clark. Writers Al Jaffe and Dick DiBartolo. A mad look at the joys of scuba diving. Now, I should have mentioned this before. This issue has a tremendous amount of material that was reprinted. This is, by all measures, I think, a classic, right? Like this one in particular, I think I had done a flip through of, I had to triple check that I didn't do this issue already because I remember this so well. I think in part because it's by my favorite artist, Bob Clark, but also because it has been reprinted and it was, I think when I first started this channel, I would sometimes do Mad Trash or the worst of Mad. And so this is the joys of scuba diving, and it's huge. And the scenes that he paints or, inks, whatever, are so fantastic. Here we have them jumping in, and look at little Flip the Bird, which was recently named. If this is issue 106, go check out my video about Flip the Bird and his first appearance. Unfortunately, the thrill quickly vanishes because under that water, they will meet all the people who can't stand the shoving and pushing and jostling and noise of our overcrowded daily lives. Oh man, this is some really great stuff. Scuba diving equipment. I mean, this is so fantastic. As an artist, I have as somebody who's not an artist, I have a really hard time understanding how somebody's mind works that can create this. This is what I love about it. So you have this guy swimming, and how cool that he captures those underwater movements, right? But then as he paints it, you have the light coming through the water. You have those reflections of the waves of the water, and then you also have that light that comes down through the water. And so the top of him has those just bright white spots. How awesome is that? It's just so cool. What a great artist. And then, of course, I mean, he's he's just so good at painting expression, and his little facial expressions are so humorous. The air tank. Without an air tank, breathing underwater can be quite difficult for the scuba diver. Here are a few of the common air tank arrangements. The single tank arrangement supplies air for a short time. The double tank supplies air for a fair period of time. The triple tank supplies air for a good period of time. The quadruple tank, this supplies a hernia for the permanent period of time. And I just love how his expression changes as the tanks get heavier and heavier. It's just so much fun. Look at the knife, the wetsuit, other diving equipment. there's just so much to admire with this dude as an artist. And I don't know. I don't think people sing his praises enough. That's my opinion. All right. Because, well, I guess I don't know if they sing his praises enough because I only know my own opinion because I don't listen to anybody else's opinion about Mad Magazine. Another way of getting into the boat is first by removing the cumbersome gear. First put in the tanks, then put in the snorkel, then put in the face mask, then put in the swim fins, and now see how easy it is to get in. Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention, always put the air tanks in carefully. Mainly, they're so heavy, they might go right through the bottom of the boat. This is, I would say, if you have this issue, take it out and read it yourself, because it is just so great, these illustrations, and it goes on and on and on, and you have, look at, like, again, the facial expressions, the gestures, the I'm just overwhelmed by it. That's what it comes down to. I'm overwhelmed by Bob Clark's ability to just draw so casually the human form. That's it. That is how I feel. And here we have another beautiful Spy versus Spy. Like, I don't know. It's just so simple. It was such a good time in Spy versus Spy where it's like, I do appreciate some of the more complex and like bizarre ways that they kill each other, but when it's this simple, how can you argue with that? It's just fun. And here's Mad visits a typical Howard Johnson or Johnson Howard's restaurant. Hojo's. Hojo's was one of those things that was like in the 50s and 60s. It was big. I don't know what it is. It was a restaurant or something. I remember my dad talking about it. Hojo's. Oh, go to Hojo's. That's what he would say. And it's like, there's no Hojo's in Minnesota. There hasn't been Hojo's in Minnesota for like 30 years. What are you talking about? Anyway. And here we have a mad look at Batman. This is, again, one of those things that gets reprinted a lot. And I know I've poo-pooed the mad things that include properties or IP, but to me, this one sort of makes it in. This is grandfathered in because this is Batman. First, I'm almost certain they were still EC Comics. They weren't owned by Warner Brothers. They had no ties to Warner Brothers or DC Comics. And I love that. So it's just, commenting on a huge piece of pop culture. I mean, Batman 66 is out at this point. You can see the Batman 66 Batmobile. Superman is Clark Kent. That has been reprinted to death, right? We've all seen that about a million times. And then he exits. Hold on. I think I remember quite recently something like this where Superman goes in and he didn't win. Was it the... It was a very recent issue. So maybe Sergio has gone to that well a few too many times. Obituaries for comic strip characters. I can't really get into this, but the writer is Frank Jacobs. No artist listed. I'm gonna have to use Mad Cover Site. Is this it? Just says written by Frank Jacobs. So I wonder if they just took clippings from and just reused it. I don't know. Prince Valiant dies. Prince Valiant, a crusading knight, died yesterday of natural causes. He was 649. Dick Tracy, 66, a local police detective, died today of lead poisoning after being shot for the 47th time in the left shoulder. A dedicated lawman to the end, Tracy was giving instructions over his two-way wrist radio until just before his death in Mercy Hospital. According to Police Chief Pat Patton, Tracy's last words were, "I'll finish the job up there." I'll finish the job up there. Dagwood Bumstead. Oh, Mandrake the Magician. He gazes hypnotically at people. Mandrake Mandrake J. Mandrake, 68, the noted magician, died today under mysterious circumstances while rehearsing a new magic act for the Ed Sullivan Show. According to police, Mandrake had just finished successfully changing his assistant, Sidney Lothar, into an ocelot when the beast suddenly attacked him, clawing him to death before the magician could utter the magic words that would have brought Lothar back to his human form. Mandrake is survived by a half-brother known as Phantom. Lothar has been purchased by the Bronx Zoo. Oh, poor Lothar. Mandrake the magician is sick. I love him. And then here we have, I should at least introduce this, 12 O Crooked High, Mort Drucker and writer Dick DiBartolo. And I am going to pass on through this all the way to the end. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, please consider hitting like, hitting subscribe, and leaving a comment down below. It was wonderful. Thank you for spending this Saturday morning or Wednesday evening with me. Toodaloo.